Here in ET now, let's just revisit what the closing trades for the week are settling in at. 22 points low on the Nifty futures, not much of a move. In fact, if you just read through how the range has been today, it's been pretty narrow actually from the high to the low of the day. We're closing in pretty quiet ahead of this not just long weekend, but very big weekend as well. Well, let's take the conversation forward. We've got Sudip Bandyopadhyay as well joining in on the show right now. Sudip, hi, good afternoon. Good to have you on the show. And critical weekend, you've got, Putin as well as Trump meeting in Alaska over the weekend. But that aside, Sudip, I guess, the signs for India seem to be spelling good. Just now you had an S&P upgrade as well coming in.
Well, absolutely right. I think, apart from the Putin-Trump meeting, which has got a lot of uncertainties around it, and one doesn't know which way it will go, whether it will be good for India or, good for anybody else, one has to see. But this S&P upgrade is a definite positive for India. It was long overdue, of course. But again, it coming at this point of time is a definitely a positive remark on India's macroeconomic factors and the stability which Indian macroeconomic policies, fiscal policies, monetary policies have brought into the economy. So it's an acknowledgement, and I'm sure it will help India overall. Of course, the external borrowing should become cheaper, and domestic bond market has already started reacting. It should. And I think it's overall very good. Also, I must add to the mix, we are expecting a lot of things from Prime Minister's speech tomorrow. And, there can be multiple things which the government may wish to do to ensure that this tariff-related uncertainty and probable slowdown because of the high tariff in USA can be taken care of through certain measures. Probably it's a little premature to expect that to be announced tomorrow, but the expectations nonetheless are building up. So let's wait and watch. And you're absolutely right. It's not only a long weekend, it's a big weekend and an important weekend.
Already getting good feelers. Commerce Secretary is saying that they're fully engaged with the US on trade negotiations, and we've already signed an FTA with Oman as well. So things at least seem to be building up on the upside. But today what we have in our hand has been the earnings season. What's been your read through? Any big earning surprises that you felt are have good visibility, the valuation comfort as well is visible, and something that you say that, let's sell or completely avoid right now after what you've seen through in the earnings?
Well, I think, if we have to say complete avoid, I would still go to those sectors which are exporting to US. I think a lot of uncertainty, and I personally believe that the uncertainty is not going to end one way or the other on 15th or 16th or anywhere in the next month. It will continue for the foreseeable future. So it is better to avoid sectors which are predominantly exporting to US or have a large US business component. You should focus on sectors which are domestic oriented and have majority of the earnings and revenue coming out of domestic markets. In that matter, I've been positive on cement. I think the earnings were pretty good, and one can look definitely at cement on the back of the fact that demand is becoming stronger and stronger. Cost efficiencies have been significantly enhanced, and naturally the margin is improving with pricing power coming back to the industry. So this is one segment which I believe should do well in the foreseeable future. The other segment where I'm hopeful is consumption. I think things should start looking up from maybe from the next month itself. The festive season is starting now in this month, and I think it'll gather momentum. Monsoon has been good. Consumption demand will pick up. The exemption or the relief given in the budget will in some form or the other will reflect in the consumer durable demand going forward. So overall, one has to look at sector, I think consumer durable as well as FMCG can be looked at. I'm not saying this is cheap or anything. The sector is reasonably priced, but still there are opportunities and possibility of growth. The last but not the least I would mention is, one did not completely discount these, EMS players. There are a lot of pulls and pushes, and the valuation is not cheap, definitely. but one needs to look at this entire India-China negotiation, which is opening up a lot of opportunities, and I'm sure there will be further opportunities. So this space needs to be watched. No need to go and buy straight away, but this definitely needs attention.
All right, so those are some of the sectors that Sudip is liking at this point in time. But as we head towards the long weekend, one of the other companies to watch out for will be M&M, because as they have been flagging off through their social media pages, is that on 15th of August, the company has an event where they are likely to unveil a new platform and some of the other announcements as well, which are still under wraps. But Sharan, just wanted to have a chart check on this one, because like we have been talking about the autos, but M&M, especially in the last couple of weeks, haven't participated that big in terms of the stock price movement. But do you believe that the stock is at a very interesting point right now and one should really look at only on the technical aspect? Sharan, this question is for you. I guess you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think the stock has actually hit a new all-time high today, and I think it's corrected a little bit. I think it's on my radar since a very long time, and I think just before their new launch, I think the stock has been showing some kind of traction. Back-to-back 4 days of green candles. I think a little bit of selling today, maybe on back of the volatility that we're expecting on Monday. But again, looking very good on the charts, technically speaking. It's a buy on dips at all levels. I think even if it comes to 3,100 odd levels, you have to buy this stock. I'm very positive on their four-wheeler SUVs and EV part of the business. And I think looking at the festive season going ahead, you can expect some very good quarterly results on the fundamental side also. In terms of technical, I think if it continues this kind of rally and starts trading about the 3,300 odd level, you can quickly see 34 and even 3,500 odd prices coming in the next 2 or 3 months. So technically very strong, new all-time high today. Fundamentally also next 2-3 quarters are going to be very good for the company.
You know, Sudip, that's the thing. That quality is not coming down, and largely you're seeing the entire premiumization, urban consumption theme. I mean, look at an Interglobe, it's hit a fresh high today. Look at an Eternal, that's hit a fresh high today. Indian Hotels, steady as it may be. M&M, you know, all these stories, you never get to buy the stocks cheap.
Right, to an extent. But I'll tell you, M&M we have been, recommending for a very long time. So that one I must confess that we have been a supporter of M&M for a very long time. Look, if you look at consumption, I think I was just talking about consumer durables and FMCG. You can add to that basket, these premiumization stories, whether it's a Nykaa, whether it's a, even for that matter, many of these automobile companies. I think that's a good story, definitely. Premiumization definitely is the way to go. As far as these kind of consumption stories are concerned, there is distinct demand. But having said that, some of these platform companies, because you mentioned Eternal, they are doing the right thing. In fact, as opposed to focusing completely on the bottom line, they're looking at expanding the market share. Revenue is what they're focusing on. They're trying to ensure that the costs are under control. And for that matter, Eternal has been ticking all the boxes. And these platform businesses, I think winner takes all is generally the way the businesses go. So gaining more and more market share and becoming more and more dominant is definitely the way to go. I will add PB Fintech to that. I think that's another business which is which has done quite a lot of good things. In between there was some unrelated diversification into healthcare, but management has clarified that enough, and the underlying business is strong, robust, and growing rapidly.
But, Sudip, again, all these stocks pretty much are scaling at their all-time peaks. Do you go via the Swiggy way, the bottom-up story in this case, or do you think that's also run up quite a fair bit?
No. I've just mentioned winner takes all. That's my belief in these kind of platform businesses. So if I have to buy one stock in that space, I will go definitely for Eternal.
Okay, Eternal looking good over there. Winner takes Exalt, that's a strategy, and seems like some of these stocks that are market leaders in their individual categories, fresh highs coming in back to back for some of these stocks. So seems like there's no stopping, at least for now. But Arpit, give us a quick chart check on some of these stocks that Sudip mentioned, and one that he mentioned that stood out was Nykaa on the whole premiumization consumption trend in the whole BPC category. Nykaa came out with its numbers day before yesterday, and so did Honasa Consumer. Honasa, excellent set of numbers. Nykaa also not all that bad. In fact, segmentally also quite strong. How are both of these stocks shaping up on the charts, and which one offers better value purely on the technicals?
So looking at the overall theme as a whole, if we say these two counters has underperformed significantly. So first talk about Nykaa as a whole. If you look at the monthly chart setup, the stock is from a base around 160, 170 levels, and slowly, steadily it's back to its previous hurdle zone near 225, 230 levels. So I think chart setup wise, Nykaa is near some major make or break level around 220, 225 levels, and any closing above 220, 225 will definitely can see some uptick towards 235, 250 levels. If we compare with Honasa, relatively, if we see the chart structure of Honasa, relatively the stock structure is still weak. And we have seen some jump from the lower levels, but as compared to the chart structure between Nykaa and Honasa, definitely Nykaa relatively offers a better opportunity. But we have to keep one thing in mind that as we are bottom fishing, so we have to keep strict stop losses. So Nykaa would be a preferred pick with a major support around 200 levels. Nykaa can see a good move towards 225, 240 originally in 1 to 2 months perspective.
Okay, Arpit, good to have you on the show. Sharon, we'll let you go on that note as well. And Sudip, good speaking with you as always. Let me